we are halfway through demo day already. Holy moly. Time flies when you're doing 15-minute demos. They kind of go like this. It keeps the time going. So yeah, we have 4 more great demos to show you, and excited to have you kick off the second half of demo day, Cindy. So you're on.
Thank you, everyone. My name is Cindy. I'm from Dynamic Budgets, and we are budgeting software that can be integrated with financial management solutions, and one of them is Acumatica. So we understand that time is precious, and no one wants to spend hours figuring out how to use a tool. That's why we designed Dynamic Budgets with simplicity and user-friendliness in mind. When our users log in, we have them navigate over to our help wizards, which provides them simple steps to enter their assumptions for the upcoming budget. So let's go ahead and dive right on in. Let me go ahead and switch over really quick. Beautiful. So on the left-hand side here, we'll go under budgets and go to available help wizard. And you'll see here we have enter your budget. We're going to have them direct them right into this wizard. And then on the left-hand side, you'll notice our companies, which would be your branches if you report on them separately, or if you have multiple entities. If you have consolidated reports with your branches, we would commingle them to our org unit, which is mapped to your sub-accounts. Then the accounts are mapped to our objects. So let's now populate our results. Beautiful, and you'll be able to see your actuals and our proposed budget in green. So let's dive on into our sales for Boston. And as a user, you're able to quickly put in assumptions. So there are some from a little bit ago where it's for our revenue for next year with an increase of 2%. We also have one back in July that's based off of a spread. Let's go ahead and take a look at our spread here. And as I slide over, we're able to see that we put in a 10,000 spread amount, but it's based off of a 20 actual. So based on their actuals of amounts coming in, spread them equally across what actually occurred in 2019. But we can scroll down below here of our account history. And if we click right into 2019 actuals, it's going to pop up a box for us and see what occurred. So if our end users are trying to figure out what was billed within the specific account, they can look in our actuals and then put their assumptions in. But let's say they want to cut by 10,000. So let's type that in. Cut by 10,000. But we want it equally across. You can actually enter that amount here and put that equation here and copy it all across. So you don't have to open up in Excel. You can do it right within our cells here and save those changes. Once you're done, you can head back over to our account list to continue into your budget assumptions. If you are complete, you can go down to our next button down below, and it's going to take you over to our budgeting dashboard for reviewing what you have entered. I'm going to do the same thing and search here. It'll give us all the totals down below. But if we move on to the right-hand side, we can filter by last updated and see what changes has occurred. So if you remember that you added something in maybe a week or two ago, you can come into your budgeting dashboard to see what changes you made and does it make sense. And once it's done here, we can go ahead and move on to next. Take us over to our monthly summary accounts. What this report is, it provides us the values from July through June, where you're able to see the trends. Does the trends make sense? And that's most important when you're budgeting, because you don't want to budget flat across. You want to make sure where the values hit is where your actuals actually occur. In this screen, you can quickly scroll down below. If one does not make sense, you don't have to go all the way back to the original screen. You can click within the cell and go into editing your budget here. So there's multiple ways to get into where you want to enter your assumptions and add additional details or cut by a certain percent. As you see here, I'm back to my assumptions as before. And if I did have to make an adjustment here, I can just type it in and click Save. You're also able to go back to your account history as we saw earlier. So let me go back to enter your budget. After you have reviewed your trends, we can go ahead and continue on. As we head here to our budget details, I'm going to go ahead and click Search. We usually have end users who like to have either an Excel or a printout of assumptions, or if you want to quickly search here, you're able to. So you can easily click our export to Excel. You can print this as well as print to PDF. But if you're trying to look for a specific entry, you can always type it in here as well as sale, and it'll pull up anything with sale. Or if you're not sure of what you typed in, you can click on the headers up above, and each one does filter for you, as well as you can group these as source. So if you have payroll, using our payroll module, you can see who is falling under these specific accounts, as well as what data entries you have added in here. After you've finished all your 4 steps, let's go ahead and head back to our available help wizards. We're going to go over to our month-end reports. This is most important because we want to ensure that our end users have access to see their budget to actual reports. So when our financial team is closing the month, we want them, hey, how's everything going? So instead of always emailing finance, they can actually log in here under this specific account. Let's head over to July, and we're going to click on search. Perfect. As our results populate, can log in to see how well have they been doing for this specific. So as you can see here, their revenue for the month is 46,000, but they're budgeting 674,000. They can go in and click on their variance to see what actually has happened. And this is most beneficial for end users because we want to make sure they have everything at their fingertips and they can see what they need versus sending an email, then waiting. Let's go ahead and dive into this actual and see what they spent. So you're able to see what they spent each month by clicking each above here and then closing the box. Beautiful. So, and make sure I click the month transaction, sorry about that. And then you're able to click the different months to see what has populated in each month. Perfect. Another thing that we have within this application is our Power BI reports that's integrated within this here. So it would be under custom reports and Power BI reports. You bring that up for you here. And with our Power BI reports, we're able to bring in the data and create pretty visuals of a one-stop shop where you can see what your revenue is, what your expense, what's the net. But a lot of times what's most important is our user logging in. Do we have a time for our budget? We need to make sure they're logging in to complete what they need to. So by creating this Power BI vision, we're able to see when they logged in, who are the people that are not logging in, and do we need to reach out? We don't always want to send out emails and to remind them, but if we're able to see, okay, it looks like Jennifer did not log in, let's go ahead and reach out. Do you need help? Are you missing anything? Or are you stuck somewhere? So this is a great visual to see what's everyone doing and are we on top of the timelines, because we don't always want to be at the end in a time crunch. We also have our assumptions visuals here as well. That will keeps our prior versions for any changes that has been made and what our current version is here. You can filter based on the dates here, flipping back and forth, as well as drilling down to which account's been hit and which user is making those changes here. Perfect. How am I doing on time? Let me check.
4
4 minutes.
minutes.
Beautiful. Yay. Okay. So does anybody have questions for me currently?
There are no questions yet.
Okay, let me keep going here. Perfect. Let me go back to our Power BI reports because we have pretty visuals here. All right, here. Another one that we do have is our percentage tab, where we're able to see all of those against any budget, see if it makes sense. So see how they overlap in period 6, and then it goes back down. It's great to see those different line charts because if you are making a forecast, if you're making a new budget against your actuals, you can see, does it make sense? Will our board approve it? Or will our board approve it? And are we aiming too high? Are we aiming too low? So creating these visuals is easier to get your point across versus just numbers. Everyone sees it a different view. So by having some visuals and your financials there for them, they're able to approve or make decisions correctly. Perfect. I think that's all I have today.